Hey guys, welcome back to Resilient Man. As you can see, I'm out on location, shall we say. I'm actually down in Florida, where I'm from originally on vacation. Just enjoying the outdoors this morning. Was out doing some stand-up paddle boarding here. As you can see, it's a beautiful spot. I'm actually out on an island. And if I pan around here, I'll show you the view. You've got a bridge connecting to the island, which I walked across the island. And then you've got the other side right here that goes out to the Indian River in Brevard County, where I am from. So anyways, like I said, down here. So what does it take to be resilient these days? And I was thinking about the word resilient and specifically about losing hope. And how many of you men out there have got to a point or have felt at times, what's the point, man? I mean, it's just I work my ass off and it doesn't seem to pan out. And then there's relationships and problems with women and, all the things that I've discussed on this channel as far as divorce and the brutal treatment that men take in our court system and such. And I was thinking about how we all have moments where, man, we just feel like we're beaten down and we're just fatigued mentally and emotionally and even physically, financially at some point as well. And what does it take to overcome that? So welcome back to Resilient Man channel. So I want to talk about that today. I'd love you guys to post your comments down below, how you cope with or how you proceed with, shall we say, being resilient in these times where there's so much shit going on in the world and with everything that we have to deal with as men. It can be very hard. It can be very hard. I mean, I myself have had days where, God, man, I'm a very optimistic guy. I always look on the bright side. I always think, well, man, it's a new day. Let's get out there and kick ass. Let's make some new opportunities. But even I have had days where, God, I don't even feel like getting out of bed. And you got to push through that. And that's what got me thinking about this today is I think we're living in times right now as well where you start to wonder if it's almost being purposely done. That men are being purposely beat down in every single area of life. To demoralize us, to beat us down, to make us feel that it is hopeless. And we simply just got to go with the flow. You don't want to swim upstream, as they say. So I'm curious as to how you handle, the different challenges of life when it comes to, obviously this channel is a lot about navigating the risks and the perils of dealing with the modern woman. But also there's work and there's the world and, politics and all the shit that we have to deal with right now. And, how are you coping with that? How do you get up each day and put it into proper perspective? That's what I think a lot of men need help with today, because it's really dangerous to get to a point where it's kind of like, if you think about it, if you were, I've heard a story recently, or, we've heard these stories where you take a dog or another animal, an elephant or whatever, and when they're young, well, let's take a dog. I mean, you've got the electric fence, and they know if they come near that electric fence, they're going to get shocked. And so they come to a point, especially if they are raised with it, that they will not go near the electric fence and they'll stay away from it. And they've learned if they do, they're going to get shocked and it's going to hurt. And I wonder sometimes if we as men get beaten down by society and by our culture and such, that actually happens with us as well, that we come to a point where, man, we just don't, we don't want to get the shock, the shock of women berating us, the shock of society and culture berating us, the shock of, let's say some of you guys, I'm sure some of you guys are in a marriage where you feel you're miserable and you feel trapped, but you know that if you file for divorce, you're going to get the shock. And the shock is the family courts are going to hit you hard. They're going to take away, you're going to lose your home, you're going to lose your children, you're going to be hit hard financially. And so, how many of you men out there are in that situation or have been in that situation, and you stayed much longer than you normally would have, or you're staying now because I have friends who have literally told me that I'm in a miserable marriage, there's no sex, there's no nothing, we're basically glorified roommates, but I'm not divorcing her because I'll lose my ass and I can't start over again, or I don't have the wherewithal and the initiative to start over again. How many of you guys are in that situation? And if you are, post down below in the comments here and give some encouragement and some advice to the other guys that are watching this video right now, because that's why it's so important to be resilient, and it's a daily effort. It's getting up every single day and purposely being resilient. I'm dealing with a lot of shit in my life. I'm going to take it 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time. I'll deal with what comes at me today. And what concerns me is that there are a lot of men in our society who simply give up and they just go with the flow, man, and they become simp husbands who get pushed around and bullied by their wives, and eventually the train does go off the cliff and you end up divorced, because any woman that is that has a simp for a husband and is able to push him around, she doesn't respect him, and if she's not already running around on him, she's probably going to leave him at some point anyway. So those are some of the things that I was just thinking about this morning, as far as I'm out here stand-up paddleboarding in Florida, my beautiful home state, and was just thinking about resiliency, what it takes for us as men to be resilient in a day and time where we have so much shit thrown at us and we're beaten down daily, in our works, environment a lot of times. And then a lot of you who are watching this, you then get to go home to an environment. I'm sure some of y'all can relate to this. I mean, you come home and you pull into the driveway and you get that knot in your stomach because you don't even want to go in the house and deal with what you're married to. You're miserable and you feel trapped. So, what is the answer here? The answer, in my opinion, is you really got to take care of yourself in every single area, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially, spiritually. You have to really focus on these things every single day. So mentally, for example, you need, if you can find a good therapist to talk these things out, I would highly recommend a man, especially a married man, or someone who can relate to being in a marriage and having a family and kids, that you can talk these things out and help to put them into the proper perspective, which that is going to help you from an emotional perspective. Physically, I myself, I get out, I do a lot of things to get me out of the funk of feeling overwhelmed and feeling fatigued and emotionally and mentally and physically. Get out there and hike, man. Get out there, stand up paddleboard. Get out there, and even if it's go for a walk, go to the gym, do something. It will, I guarantee you, it will lift your spirits. It will make you feel better every single time. Of course, financially, make sure you get or if your ducks are not in a row, you're working on it every day. I mean, you're working, sometimes that's like, I mean, when I was married, that was extremely hard because you have another party who is, in many cases, is hard to control and can be an actual deterrent to you financially. So, but do the best you can in that respect. And then spiritually, I mean, whatever your faith is or whatever you believe, I believe it plays a strong role from a resiliency standpoint and from a having faith in tomorrow, having faith in the fact that, I need to just keep going. Keep going. Today is a new day. It can't rain forever, as they say. The sun is going to come up and it's going to be a beautiful day again, and there's a whole new set of opportunities for you. So anyways, I just wanted to share these thoughts this morning. I'm out here in this beautiful spot. It's absolutely deserted because Hurricane Milton hit this week, and so I've got it all to myself. It's really cool, really beautiful. I will do one more pan around here just to show you. So that's the bridge to the island, and then that out there, which goes out to the Indian River here in Brevard County, Florida. I'm a Central Florida boy originally. It's not where I live now. But anyways, guys, listen, if you've got some thoughts on being resilient, dealing with the challenges that you're going through with your relationship, with your woman, with your marriage, going through a divorce, work issues, whatever the case might be, comment down below. Share some things that you do to cope with getting through this life that can be a shit show on some days. And if you would, like and subscribe to my channel. And remember, guys, know your worth, protect your peace.